What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury. As promised, guys, when I got more intel, I would give you guys a run on why the Tyson Fury fight was canceled. The December 5th fight was canceled. And this is from Mike Benson. In this, he said Frank Warren has explained that Tyson Fury's December 5th UK fight fell through because we could not find a way to make it work without fans during the pandemic. He added that Fury's next fight will now most likely be in the US in late February or March. That's very interesting and also very convenient because of a lot of reasons. Okay. Now, did you hear anything about Deontay Wilder in this message? No. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't have anything to do with Deontay Wilder. Okay. Because February or March is a perfect time for someone like, a perfect time or a perfect amount of time for things to transpire. What could transpire by March or February? First of all, the mediation, which hasn't happened yet. I think that happens either later this week or the week after. Okay. We know that the fight's not happening because of the fans, but here's the deal. We could not find a way to make it work without the fans during the pandemic. Didn't Fury say that he would be glad to fight in a bubble? That's why it's not really adding up. Okay, because Fury also said, hey, I can fight in the bubble, outside the bubble. He's already came on record and said that. So I don't know why this is a big excuse why he can't fight in the UK December 5th. Now, we couldn't find a way to make it work without fans during the pandemic, okay? And see, really, that makes Frank look bad also, because his competitor, Eddie Hearn, is going along with Anthony Joshua and Kubrat Pulev. See, make that make sense. See, if you are Nike, and then Nike says, well, you as Nike saying that we can't do this, but then you find out that Reebok is doing that despite you saying you can't do that, that makes you look bad. Because they are able to show a high-quality fight with high-quality fighters, a mandatory fight, without fans. And you guys can't. So the question is, whose fault is to blame? Should you blame Tyson Fury? Or should you blame the management of Tyson Fury? Because that's what it seems like. It seems like the stuff that Bob Arum was saying earlier. You know, he was talking about, we can't find a way. We need a crowd to pay the fighters. Do you guys remember that? Okay, and then that's when I started to get suspicious about, would this fight ever take place? And that had nothing to do with Wilder at the time, because Wilder hasn't said anything at the time. This was before all that. And Bob was saying that he wanted to push it back past up until this particular point. Okay, and then if that's the case, the mediation, whatever happens in the mediation, we'll soon know. So I think that has a bit to do with it. But just to say that because they can't find a way to do it without fans, and Tyson Fury's already came out and said he would fight in a bubble without fans, makes no sense to me. It's just contradicting all over it. Contradiction through this whole thing. You know, I mean, it's... Okay, it's Caballero. It's a tune-up fight. And then people start digging away at Tyson Fury, and then he's up for debate. Why? People are going to criticize Tyson Fury because wasn't the first Deontay Wilder fight supposed to be for charity? I'm not saying he did it or didn't. Who really knows? But at the end of the day, it makes them look bad because he said, hey, I'm going to donate my fight purse to charity. Now you're saying Tyson Fury can't fight Caballero without fans during the pandemic. What does the pandemic have to do with him and his fight purse anyhow? So that tells you something. It might not be Tyson Fury at all. It might be the people that expect money, or that it's not worth Tyson Fury fighting because the money that Tyson Fury will have, that's not enough in their cut, on their cut, from their cut. to get paid. That's why they're not doing it. But then again, you can't overlook or close a blind eye to all the possible situations. The other possible situation is all of a sudden Deontay Wilder claims or files mediation, then this fight ain't going through. People don't think that is a little strange? Ain't that a little bit too convenient? Not saying that's the whole thing, but it might be a part of what's going on. I just thought maybe it was a little bit partial Wilder's mediation, the other partial the pandemic. But they're saying, oh, they can't fight without fans. Tyson Fury already said, I'll fight without fans. So this is what we have. You know, and it's crazy for how this is explained because it shows greed. That's what it shows. It shows that, you know what? On our side of the street, with this promotional company, we refuse to fight our top fighter, our current WBC heavyweight champion, without a crowd. That's what they're saying. We're not going to do that. The damn what Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua are doing, we ain't doing that. And you know what? It comes off as cheap. And what has Bob Arum really showed us? Because he's the promoter, he's the co-promoter of Tyson Fury. But what has he showed us lately he's about? He's about being thrifty. Thrifty, right? He doesn't want to spend any money. He doesn't want to go bankrupt. Who's going to have the money? Where's the money coming from? This is all we're hearing from Bob Arum. Now, this is Frank Warren, and now everyone's getting on the same course of, oh, we just couldn't find a way to make it work without fans. That's all about money. That has nothing to do with anything else. Counterpunch. So if that's the case, he added, Fury's next fight will be mostly February or March. If that's the case, that'll be right around the time that all this stuff will clear up with Wilder and the mediation. So he needs to fight Wilder and get it over with once and for all. That's what he needs to do. Since Tyson Fury didn't get his way anyway. Okay, because the only person that suffers at the end of the day is Tyson Fury. Why? Because Tyson Fury flew his trainer from the US of A over to the UK to train him for a certain event that never happened. And since it never happened, that can be a clear sign of overtraining. If you don't know anything about overtraining, look at him in the Otto Wallin fight. It looks like a clear sign to me of overtraining. That's why Tyson Fury claimed he wanted a fight, which he had a point, because you don't want to do all that strenuous conditioning for a fight and don't have one. So when he said, hey, I want to have a fight in December, I couldn't say anything against it because I know what that means on a condition of a human body. But it seems like to me, we could not find a way. He didn't say Tyson Fury could not find a way. He said we. So that means Frank Warren, that means Bob Arum, and of course, by default, that means Tyson Fury because they are in charge of Tyson Fury's career. So that's what we meant, okay? We meant we ain't going to put up money to see Tyson Fury fight a guy that we really haven't heard of, or a guy that's not that high on the totem pole, without a crowd, because we ain't making no money. Counterpunch. That's all it really means. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think Frank Warren means. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.